Hi, this is my poster on grading to success. Yes, grading, as in Emma Great, who is under our case study. She is from Oregon and is a sophomore at University of Utah. She used to play volleyball in high school, and now she plays volleyball for University of Utah. But recently, during a game, she got a patellar tendonitis. She got it checked and actually found out that her meniscus got torn and had to do a surgery on it to get it repaired. Because of the surgery, she felt depressed since she had to miss out on practices and games. So she hopes that she can get back to volleyball in her junior year, since she's a sophomore right now, and is quite scared to start doing her physical therapy. Right now, her mood is very poor because she keeps thinking that she will not get back to volleyball. And then the obstacles that she will potentially face are academic performance will be lowered, lack of trust in me and in self, emotional stress, negative mood and attitude, and worried about whether she'll make her injury worse. So the barriers due to interventions: if I do any movements, will she feel any pain in her knee? She can't drive herself to therapy, and she has no one to take her. Her team is probably disappointed in her. She doesn't want to do her exercises at home because there's no physical therapist there. And her family's not in Utah to support her through this, considering that they're in Oregon. And then the two theoretical guides that we'll be using in our interventions are self-efficacy and self-determination. So self-efficacy is a theory where an individual feels they will be successful in performing a desired behavior given their abilities and unique situation. And then self-efficacy, it encompasses a lot of past performance, whether someone else has done that performance, like how can we get a relatedness from them, who supports you as you're doing this, and how do you feel physically and emotionally as you're doing that sport. And then we have self-determination, a theory where individuals seek out challenges to satisfy three basic needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. This is just talking about how what the athlete does, how can we get it onto routine or planning in order for the athlete to get to where from box 1 to box 10. And then also relatedness, in order we need to understand how you make the athlete feel like this is a friendly environment, or this is an environment that they would want to work in. And so we're going to move on to interventions. And then, as I said, interventions, we are covering the self-efficacy sources, self-determination theory, and I added motivational interviewing. So, for our self-efficacy source, we have past performance, where Emma has played in high school and is motivated to get back to practices and games. So this is very important for physical therapists to know, because this would be something we would base our routines on. So if she's a spiker, we need to base most of our exercise routines to get her to be able to jump so she can spike balls. And then we have vicarious experience. Emma has a friend on her team that recently had an ACL reconstruction and a meniscus surgery. So through physical therapy, her friend was able to get back to practice and games. This is very crucial, especially if you're someone for a first-timer who has injured themselves you need guidance, or you would need someone who you could relate to ask some like questions about physical therapy, especially if you don't know how physical therapy goes and you just want like some reassurance. This is really crucial to getting towards that where you're getting better state. And then we have social persuasion, where Emma has her coach and friends persuading her to start physical therapy. During her therapy, I allow her friends and coach to join in for encouragement. This is important, to have people supporting you as you're going to physical therapy, because it's really hard. So having people there for you to encourage you and to be there with you is important in order to improve. And then we have her physiological and affective state. Emma remembers how playing volleyball made her feel and is feeling encouraged to get back to it. So, outcome: as a result of these improvements, I hypothesize that Emma will have an increase in her self-efficacy. With the boost of self-efficacy, Emma will come to her set appointments. She will also start to realize that it is possible to recover and that she can go back to practices and games. In addition, Emma will start to feel energized to commit to her physical therapy when remembering the feeling of playing volleyball. Based on the patient's improved behavior, cognition, and emotions, the patient has a positive effect of their self-efficacy. Now, self-determination theory, autonomy. This is where I would get in touch with Emma's coaches to find out what sort of exercise routines she undergoes and what specific position she plays in order to build her exercise routines. As I mentioned in self-efficacy, this is important because I would be basing my exercise routines on what position she plays. I cannot give her a setter exercise routine when she is supposed to be given a spiker's position routine. Also, Emma will have the ability to select her exercises as long as it builds her muscles rather than injuring her knee and meniscus. Now, this is where it comes in, where she's worried. This is where we'll start helping her and making her realize, like, if you go too far of a squat, you need to come back up and go before that, because you're not supposed to be injuring yourself. You're supposed to be strengthening your muscles. Next is competence. So first thing we're going to do with competence, we're going to create a clear and stating goals that we want Emma to achieve during our sessions, at home, and at practices. So maybe her goal could be to functionally move around and be able to perform in practices and games. I know that's not clear enough, but that's what we'll work with for now. The second one would be providing guidance to exercise routine. So the muscles are feeling it rather than the knee and meniscus. So this is more about showing her the routine or the exercise, doing it with her, and then watching her perform it by herself. So that way she can get the feeling of what it feels like, so when she goes home she doesn't have to worry about us being there with her. And then the last thing that we want to do with competence is explanations and feedbacks are a must when coming into therapy, just so that Emma knows she has improved from the last time. We don't want Emma coming in and thinking she hasn't improved when she has. We just have to tell her, and she's not also confused. One other thing with this is that with explanations, we would be, like, if she has a question on something, we would provide her the explanation that she needs, especially for a particular exercise that she's doing. Then we have relatedness. This is to notify Emma that the facility is an environment not for continued improvement to success. Also, to find a companion in me and other physical therapists there. Emma's not in this alone. Everything she's doing is also part of my failures and successes. So this is just how, like, Emma's not alone in this. Everyone is there for her at the facility, and the facility is not just to like judge her, it's there for her continued improvement. And then lastly, we have a motivational interviewing, which is I'll have her do an exercise experience form. I would do this at the end of every 2 sessions, just to get a feel of like how she feels about the exercise routine provided to her, and what I could do better for her in order to improve the exercise routine for her, so that way it's more challenging, it's interesting, and it's not boring her. So that's it for this poster. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.